What's up everyone, it's Emma. Welcome back to my channel, and today I thought it would be fun to do a quick video about 3 things that no one told me before moving to a new country. These are 3 random things that I learned when I got here, and I thought it would be fun to just tell you all in case either you're moving or you have some random ones of your own. Like I said, they're pretty random, they're not like practical or anything. Maybe they will be, I don't know, but I thought it would be fun to talk about it because no one told me, and maybe it would have been helpful if somebody had given me a little bit of a heads up. But yeah, before we get into the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on those post notifications so you can be notified when I upload a new video. Also, comment down below if you have moved to a different country and there's something you want to add after watching this video, or comment down below any video ideas and video requests or anything like that, because I like to take those. But yeah, let's get started. So for a quick background, I am Emma. I lived in South Africa, grew up there, and then moved here just over 6 years ago. So I've been here for 6 years, and these are 3 things that I learned along the way that I feel like maybe would have been I wonder, I don't know how different my experience would have been if I had known these 3 things, but I think maybe the last one would have helped. So stay tuned for the last one, because the last one I feel like is more practical. The first one's very funny, and that is that you will probably, or at least in my case, because this is just my experience, so I want to say that everyone's experience is going to be different, obviously, but in my experience, there were foods in South Africa that I didn't like that I ended up liking here, and that is because the food tastes different. So I think I knew that the food would taste a bit differently, because, you know, it's in a different country, they make things differently and everything like that. But I didn't know that that would mean, which I probably should have known and should have guessed, that that would mean that I would take a liking to certain foods. I did think about whether there was something that I liked in South Africa that I don't like here, but I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head. But some of the foods that I didn't particularly like growing up I wasn't a fan of donuts. I really didn't like donuts that much. I think it was because of the texture and just, I don't know, I was never really somebody that ate those, and for some reason here I do, and I think it has a lot to do with Krispy Kreme, because I really love Krispy Kreme, but the texture is slightly different. And so if you're somebody who struggles with textures, that maybe the food will have different textures if you move to a different country. I don't know, but that happened for me. Something else that I didn't like was fudge. I really wasn't a fan of fudge, and I had it a couple years ago on my trip to my very first time going to see my friend Beto in Utah. I had fudge and I was obsessed with it. I love it so much, and which is so interesting. So yeah, I don't know, it's really, really interesting. There is something where somebody said that, you know, your taste buds change, and that could also be a thing, but I don't know, there's a lot of stuff, it does taste different, and so, you know, so that could also be a factor into why I like the foods that I do now, well, certain foods. So yeah, that is, I don't know, it's pretty interesting, but food definitely tastes different, and so that is something that you should keep in mind, and that your favorite foods might change. The next thing that I feel like is definitely fitting for my experience, and I think the reason that people maybe don't talk about this that often is because everybody's experience is so different when it comes to this particular thing, and that is accents. So my accent changed drastically, has changed drastically from when I first came here to now. And I think the one thing that I didn't know, I think I knew, you know, for some people it changes and for some people it doesn't. I guess it just depends on, I don't know, it depends on a lot of different things. But the one thing I didn't know and it happened for me, is that it'll change, and you will wake up one day and realize it's changed and you won't know it. I think everybody else knew, in the sense of when I would talk to people in South Africa, they said that my accent was different, and I didn't really realize that. But I was watching old videos a couple weeks ago, and I was like, my accent is so different. It is so different. It's scary. And I think that was the first time that one of the first times that I'd really realized that it changed. Another one was I had a teacher at school my first semester. She taught me something. I believe it was scene study. And, and so that was fun. And then I saw her again about a year later for my 4th or 5th, I can't remember which one, I think it was the 5th or something, but anyways, I saw her for my 5th semester, and she goes, "You talk American now." There's certain words that I still say that I still have my South African accent, but for the most part, it has definitely changed a lot. And I think that my idea was that it would gradually change and I would notice it, but it didn't. And so I wanted to give anyone a heads up that if your accent ends up changing, you probably won't notice it. Maybe you will, I don't know, maybe it's gradual for some people. It was not gradual for me, and it caught me really off guard, and I didn't have time to transition into the different accent. So yeah, that was something that, now you know. If that ends up happening, don't be alarmed if one day you wake up and everybody just tells you your accent is different. It happens. It happened to me at least. So yeah. The final thing is actually something that is pretty practical, and I really do wish that I would have known this, or I would have had more of an understanding of this when I first moved. And I think that this is something, because I think when you move to a different country, or I guess maybe when you move to a different place, but especially in a different country where you aren't going to have any close contact with people that you had close contact with in your, in the country that you lived previously, something happens where a lot of people talk about the changes that you go through, which is very important. Obviously, they're like, it's going to be a big change for you, and you're going to experience all these different things. But I think the one thing that people, at least in my case, we didn't have a conversation about, and I wish that they had, was, you're going to see the changes. Everyone's going to go through a lot of changes back home. In my case, it was, back home in South Africa, or wherever you're moving from. They're going to change too. And that's going to be an adjustment for you living on the other side of the world, in my case, because you're going to see these things, and that's going to be an adjustment. So for example, when I left, I was very excited, but there was this weird thing where I was really kind of sad, because I'd found a balance with my dance classes and my drama classes and everything, and I was having so much fun, and I just found my people, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna find that. I don't know if I'm gonna find that here, and I was very nervous about moving and starting all over. And I think that there's the idea that you're going to do this big thing, and it's going to be a massive change, but everything else is going to stay the same. Or at least that was my subconscious thought. I obviously didn't think everything was going to stay the same, but as soon as I left, things started changing so drastically on the other side of the world so things were changing for me. I was making new friends and everything, but there was this weird thing where I realized that the people that I had left behind in South Africa were changing as well. My dance school didn't stay the same. That changed and underwent a massive change. And my drama school obviously didn't stay the same. Obviously nothing stays the same, but it happened so fast. And maybe it didn't happen that fast, but it happened fast for me because I was on the other side of the world, and I didn't think that that would be something that I'd have to deal with really quickly. I didn't know how to deal with that. And it was so sad to me, because I was like, they're like, everything's just falling apart. And it wasn't necessarily that it was falling apart. It was more that, people were finding other things. They were going on their own journeys. And so now the balance that I had found there, you know, my dance school isn't there anymore. People have branched out and done their own things, and I think that's really, really great. And in my drama school, I think my drama school's still there, but the people, you know, everyone else has moved on and done, like, the people that I knew, at least some of them have moved on and done their own things. And I'm really, really proud of them because they're all thriving, and so am I. And I think it's that thing where, you know, you're going to change and they're going to change, and it's okay. Like, nobody's missing out on anything. I think I felt like I was missing out, and I felt like I had just left and now they were all moving on without me. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I feel like something that I wish someone would have told me was that it's okay to kind of move on and find your own place, and they're gonna do that too, and you can be happy for each other and everyone's gonna thrive, and it's okay. You know, and there's gonna be changes in you. So now if I were to go back, nothing is gonna be the same as I left it, you know, because things are constantly changing. But for some reason, I don't know, I just, obviously, like I said, I knew that things weren't going to stay the same, but I don't think that I really fully processed that side of things. I think a lot of the time people, you know, they talk about how we're going to change as the person moving, but there's also the other side of the people that you leave are going to change as well. And that's okay. I think I was grieving the place that I knew, and it was really sad for me because I watched it kind of change dramatically into something that I didn't know because I wasn't there, right? So I wasn't a part of that. I really hope that this is making sense. This is very rambly. I'm really sorry, but yeah, just know that when you move to a place, you're going to go through some massive changes. The people around you are going to go through some massive changes. The people that you leave in your other country are going to the country that you move from, whether that be your home country, which that was in my case, or another country. You are going to change. They're going to change. They're going to go through changes as well. And that's okay. You guys can all thrive. And that was something that I had to understand, which is I was grieving the place that I had lost. Like I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense. It changed. I wasn't ready for them to change so fast. And they did. And I guess I could say the same thing for me. But you know, that was my experience, and I wish somebody would have told me that. So yeah, those are the 3 things. Comment down below, like I said, if there's something that you feel, if you've moved, or if you like this video. I don't know. That's it for today's video though. Don't forget to, like I said, like and subscribe and comment down below what videos you would like me to do. And I hope you all have a really, really great weekend, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!